Did you know that Facebook has over 2 billion monthly users? Do you know how to get seen? Did you know that Twitter has 300 million active users? And did you know Gary Vee called it the water cooler of society? Look, you need to know how to get seen quickly on these platforms in order to stand out and break through the noise. And that's why I'm giving you the insights and 333 Marketing's How Do I Live Stream marketing seminar. That's right. So today specifically, we're talking about best practices to increase engagement on your social channels based on Gary Vee's Crushing It. Yeah. So if you're watching in replay, I want to say a very, very special thank you. Now, Gary Vee and I can agree on a few things. Let me tell you. Step number 1, pick your niche. Stop being everything to everybody. He says this time after time after time in his book, is that if you want to be successful on Instagram and you want to be the next whiskey grammer or whatever it is, you need to have really special content. How do you have special content? You need to understand who it is you're going after and what they care about. Then, and only then, when you know what they care about, can you pick your niche and be able to really define that as your niche. So for example, we specialize in live video as a social media firm, and we help real estate and busy entrepreneurs. So pick your niche. That's one thing Gary Vee and I can agree on. Tip number 2 is pick your pillar content. He spends a lot of time talking about how you don't need to be everything to everybody and be everywhere. Instead, he teaches a practice of being able to have a hierarchy of needs and being able to take that basic content from the top and be able to splinter it off into blogs and then into posts. So if you can't see this or it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Look, the bottom line is, I just want you to understand, you start with the video, you make 3 blogs, you turn those into posts. You don't start from the beginning and how do I start writing something and write an outline and then maybe do a video. So this is where he and I differ a little bit, but what he agrees on is you need to pick your pillar content and then whether it's in video form or written form, splinter it off to your other channels, but have one core pillar where you start. He and I also agree on being able to lead with value, right? So one of the reasons why I'm giving free social media strategy seminars and giving away all my best tips for freezy is because I care about you. I want to invest in you. I want you to be engaged in this process of learning with me. And I want to help better your life with these tips because I want to help you break through and stop making excuses and start leveraging the power of live video. So that's what I'm committed to. He and I agree with that. But what he taught me is you also need to teach your humanity, the human side of you, the documenting. He says documenting and creating, right? Document is where you share your life, your humanity, the late nights. You know, I took a video with my husband of us stuffing goodie bags of these Go Live kits that I'm giving away every single week, and that include a cell phone adapter, tripod, mics, lighting, carrying case, etc. And we're up stuffing bags all night. So I did a quick video of that to share the behind the scenes of it, right? So share your humanity and create content that helps your clients. You also want to engage with your influencers, right? So pick the influencers in your field. He gives some very specific strategies. I'm going to jump into that today and how you can do that. And then he says, last thing, and this is what I agree with 100%, is comment back. And he says the fact that we even have to say that is the audacity of laziness of our society. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but it's definitely about what he said. So yes, if somebody comments on a video, you absolutely should comment back. That is what he really specializes in rather than where I specialize in live video. But either way, we agree on those principles. And you're sitting here thinking, but wait, what are the actual best practices so I can start crushing it, right? You're like, what am I actually supposed to do here on a daily, weekly basis? I have a client that asked me specifically, he's just starting out on his channels, and he said, I know I'm supposed to spend like 4 to 6 hours a day at least, but what am I supposed to be doing that long on the channel? I have no idea. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm Crystal Lindsay, social media strategist, entrepreneur, and college professor. And I want to help you be able to harness the power of live video. That's why I'm going live to teach you these tips. So This is part 3 of a 5-part series where I'm breaking down the crushing it, and I want to help you be able to actually apply it. You can see in this book I'm taking so many notes and scribbles inside and darts and scratches and underlines galore to really show you that this is what I want you to do, because there's a lot of philosophy in here, Gary Vee, and for that I'm grateful. Let's preach the good news of social media and how to become influencers. But what he's fallen flat on just a little bit is how to actually do it. There's a couple bullet points on how to go after Instagram followers and specifically collaborators, but not much on how to do it. So the first week of this, I broke down a 13-step process to actually apply this book, Gary Vee's Crushing It. The next week, we talked last week about how to complete the first step, the buyer persona. I gave you a 7-step process. You can see that as well. And then we talked this week about how to actually have a strategy to increase your engagement. What can you do on every channel based on Gary Vee's advice so you can increase your reach, increase your exposure, drive referrals, and lower your cost of marketing. See, that's the part that a lot of people don't get. And that's why next week we're going to be talking about how to leverage your existing sphere of influence, because those people who know, like, and trust your brand already are more likely to engage with your content by either liking, commenting, sharing, offering a referral, or being a referral themselves. So if you know they're the ones who are most likely to engage, then those are the people you need to go after to warm up your post so you can lower your cost of marketing. That's next week, so make sure you don't miss that. And then we're gonna wrap it up with technology and budget, because there's a lot of perfectionists out there who are afraid of going live, and I'm here to tell you, umbrella lights, my friend, are your friends, okay? Umbrella lights, I got one on either side of me, and it takes at least 5 or 10 years off, trust me. So with that, I wanna just give you an overview of Crushing It, and then we're gonna jump right into the specific steps for each channel. So, Gary Vee, we love you. You're an entrepreneur, you're a hustler, you're always telling the good news about how to leverage social media. Through public speaking, you're telling the good news. Through books, you're telling the good news. Through Twitter, you're always on Twitter. As he still says in his book, that's the best way to reach him. So yes, you're out there and telling people how to build a personal brand, and you're showing the endless possibilities that come with using social media to build your personal brand. He preaches about 8 core principles that really matter. He says intent, authenticity, passion, patience, speed, work, attention. And then the newest one from Crushing It, that wasn't in the first book, Crush It, is content. And that's where he gives this process of being able to pick your pillar content, turn it into blogs, and then splinter it off into posts. So content is one of the things that matter, obviously. He also says to niche up, document versus create, and stop overthinking it and just put something out there. So, for example, today we're supposed to be on YouTube, but guess what? My Switcher Studio is acting up and it wouldn't let me connect to YouTube, but it would let me connect to Facebook, so I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna keep the show going. That's why we're here today, and I hope you get to join me. So again, I work with busy entrepreneurs every single day, and I hear all the excuses about why live video marketing is not possible for you. And so often the main excuse I hear is that you just don't know how. You're afraid. You're paralyzed by it. You're a perfectionist. You don't have the right equipment. Whatever it is, you can break through that by getting the knowledge necessary to take action. Look, I worked with a client who really came from a place of wanting to show her bubbly personality. She shot out to Bond Hair Bar in Silicon Valley, who is rocking girls and getting them their dream hair so they can attract the opposite sex or do whatever they need to do in their professional career to get the promotion and feel great about themselves. Fabulous. Shout out to Emily. Now, she came from a place where she didn't know where to start. She knew video was important. She'd heard about it. She'd talked to her last marketing firm about it for 6 months, over a year, never got one video done. You can get them stuck in back and forth with the videographer, and people think it needs to be this junk cut, super, edited with your logo spinning in and spinning out. And then, she sent me in a video, it was like, this is what it should be. And it was just, it's too over stylized. It doesn't show the authenticity. And so what I'm telling her and taught her specifically is that live video, this format, this raw format that catches the bloopers, this format outperforms pre-recorded video 10-1. Yeah, let that sink in. I had a client who spent $12,000 on a 60-second video. Yeah. I'm just letting you think about that, because if she would have just gone live and told her story, it would have outperformed 10 times over, and she would have been able to do it in 1/100th of the time, because it's real time, incredibly efficient, goes right to your page, no back and forth of videographer, and it's cheap. And it is so easy to do and do it well. So that's what I'm teaching this client. We went through best practices. You know, when she started working with me, she broke through her nervousness. I actually created her the scriptless script. I did her buyer persona and figured out what her core audience cares about. We wrote down the live topics she's going to be going over. We started recording a pre-recorded resource library. Now, this is where I want to press pause. So if I've been talking about live video, why the heck would I have her do a pre-recorded resource library? And that's because she was scared to death to go live, right? Shout out to Emily. Again, I love your enthusiasm, but there was something that was holding her back. So going through this process of doing a resource library, we were able to do a 6-hour shoot, a couple hours at the park, a couple hours in her salon. We had a couple client testimonial videos in there, and we were able to turn that into an incredible resource library that makes her squeal. Simple video edits, so when she messed up, just a light jump cut, and then at the end, we do a nice exit card and on YouTube, and be able to prompt for the next video on playlists and do the SEO description. So through that, she got everything she wanted. She was able to launch her channels. Now she has marketing assets that she could put as a blog on her website. She could put as a full article on her LinkedIn that she can get transcribed into more written blogs and posts, and she can repurpose in email marketing. It's an easy way. Not only does she get all these assets, but it's the next logical step, because Gary Vee on page 211 finally started talking about Facebook Live. And you know what he said about Facebook Live specifically? He said, if you haven't been perfecting your craft in video for years, he doesn't recommend you going live. And I don't agree with that. It is absolutely possible. He says that realistically that you need to perfect your craft. And what I'm telling you right now is do a resource library, work with a professional like me or a loved one to give you feedback, and get the tools you need and watch yourself on camera, get the technology, and break through the procrastination, because video is the next step. It is the next revolution similar to mobile, per Mark Zuckerberg himself, okay? So take it seriously. Video is not going away. In a matter of a couple of years, we all anticipate that video will be the primary way people are communicating on social and across other communication forms, and written formats will be going away. That has a lot to do with the shortened attention span, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is you need to get used to it. So there's still time to be able to get your Gary Vee book and an Osmo and change your life, or get your basic tripod and a cell phone holder and look into it and pour your heart out, because live video allows you to do that. And with this client in particular, when we turned on the camera, she lit up, okay? And now she's able to shine brightly, send her clients to her YouTube channel with pride, get them resources, and be able to generate leads every single day using this in email marketing. So if you want to know how to do this for yourself, I want to say congratulations, you're in the right place, because taking action is easy when you know what to do. And guess what? If you don't know what to do, or if it's new, it's hard. So be kind to yourself when you're first learning, but figure out what's working. That's why you're here, and start taking action and get feedback from someone who watches your video with you and gives you feedback on how to connect with the camera more, and then integrate that and try again. So again, as Gary Vee said on his YouTube channel, his very first video, he held back. He wasn't the Gary Vee we all know and love, you know? And so now, it wasn't by episode 61 that he finally dropped in a bull crap. Okay, now we know he cusses all over the place, right? But the bottom line is it evolves with you, and that's something that he really tries to calm you down and soothe your soul as you're thinking, but I'm not ready. It's not perfect. I'm overthinking it. I'm afraid. I'm paralyzed. Stop being paralyzed is what he says, and break through and start taking action. All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox because I know why you're here. You want some real tips and strategies, so let me give them to you. First of all, we're going to talk about Facebook, all right? Facebook is the juggernaut of social media, per Gary Vee, you know it, but it really is. It has the biggest demographic reach, and if you're looking to get in front of anything from millennials all the way up to people who are the baby boomers, you're going to be able to reach that full demographic on Facebook, and that is really the only channel that you can connect with them on that level. The other thing he points out about why Facebook is so powerful is that it actually allows you for diversity and creativity in your content. And this is interesting. I hadn't actually thought of this aspect of Facebook, but on Insta, it's all about, really beautiful images on your profile or kind of throwaways in your stories. On YouTube, it has to be video. On Snap, it's kind of your throwaway content showing your humanity. And on Twitter, again, there's some time limits or character limits that you're not able to post full long blogs. But on Facebook, you could post a long strategy or blog post, or a short custom image, or a full video, or a live video, or anything in between. Facebook is the most diverse channel, but it also has not only the largest demographic and 2 billion active users that are monthly active users, and 1 billion of those, half of them, check it every single day, multiple times a day. So if you haven't realized the power of Facebook and you're thinking, I'm trying to not have to go on Facebook because, I'm more of an Insta girl, let me tell you, you are missing out. And Gary Vee is telling you your ship has sailed. So he says outright, if you don't have a Facebook page right now, stop reading and go set it up, because it's that important. So you have to have a Facebook page. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump into some of the best practices for it, but you got to boost too. So the next thing I want to talk about real quick is we're kind of breaking down the channels, and then again, I've got specific tips for each one coming right up. So on Insta, this is all about hashtags. Now, some statistics say anywhere from 60 to 80% are under 35 years old on Instagram. So if your demographic is you're doing reverse mortgages and you're going after baby boomers, you don't want to be on Insta. Okay, if you're going after the luxury market, people who are selling their home to move up into a larger home, maybe they might be on Insta. If you're going for the single family kind of first-time home buyers who are no longer a first-time home buyer, now looking to buy their second home, maybe it's Insta. But if you're selling mansions in Silicon Valley, Insta isn't necessarily the best way to reach them. It would be better to go after them on Facebook and on LinkedIn or Twitter. You'll see why. All right, next up, you can see YouTube, the biggest, baddest of all. Now, Gary Vee says this is where he can help change a life more than any other channel, because on YouTube, this is where celebrities are made. It's all done through the visual component. And as he said, vlogging, video blogging, vlogging actually is an equalizer. And isn't that a good thing? Think about it. If you can get on camera and you can tell your story in a dynamic way, you can begin to level up yourself and put you on the status quo of influencers who are reaching millions by having the same quality content and a little bit of ads and targeting your existing sphere. You'll be able to see the results you're looking for. But let me just tell you like this. If you're just like tuned out and you're like, I don't know about YouTube, I haven't built out my YouTube channel yet, let me ask you this. Who owns YouTube? Comment? Anybody? All right? Who owns YouTube? Think about it like this. The sheriff in town owns YouTube. That's Google. The Google is sheriff in town. He knows if you've repurposed that content already. He knows if you stole it from somebody else. He knows if those are your images. He knows if you put hashtags on Facebook or did it. He knows if you boosted or didn't boost. The sheriff in town knows all. Trust me, I don't even think we want to know how much Google knows about us, okay? But it is the world's second largest search engine. What's search engine number 1? Google. Search engine number 2 is YouTube, owned by Google. So if you want to get seen by the largest search engines, you need to get your video content put onto YouTube. Now, he also says this is the next TV. I don't know. I personally don't subscribe to cable. I'm a Netflix girl and HBO, and we have the apps on the TV and the smart TV. I think that's the way of pretty much my entire generation. And people are not subscribing to cable TV. They consume long form video on YouTube now. So they're coming home in the evenings and watching it on YouTube. So that's the new TV. So you want to make sure you shoot sideways and be able to leverage YouTube. I've got some specific tips for you and a checklist I'm giving away. So if you want your YouTube to be to the point where Gary Vee would approve, I need you to comment below or DM the page with your email so that we can get you set up with this checklist that is Gary Vee approved based on his book to be able to help you get the biggest impact on your YouTube channel. So if you haven't built it out yet, or if you already have, but you're afraid it doesn't look good or it's not done right, this checklist will solve all your problems. Next up, he talks about Snap. Okay, anybody, it used to be Snapchat, but I guess it got too long, so now it's just Snap. So Snap is all about fast-paced throwaway content where you just are creating top-of-mind awareness and connecting with the 10 billion daily views. So there's no hashtags, there's no boosting, it's a purely organic grind, and he talks about some collaboration, so I've got some tips on that. And then for Twitter, I saved it for last, but he says this is the biggest deal. So I think if Gary Vee had to give a hierarchy of it, he would say the first one is going to be Facebook. He says that one, you have to have a Facebook. Then he says YouTube is the second most important. So any videos that you do here, this is your pillar content where you're creating content and video on Facebook, needs to be repurposed to YouTube using the checklist I created today. And then his third channel is going to be Twitter. I would say he's maybe Twitter and Insta are almost tied for him, but based on how much time he spends on Twitter compared to Insta, I think the proof is in the pudding. So I would put Insta down here as number 4. And then he talks about Snap, but he also talks about the fact that Snap needs to be a secondary platform. So we're getting into that in just a moment. But specifically Twitter, don't think because I talked about it last that it's least important, okay? Twitter allows you to get in front of highly educated and interactive people. Think about it like this, all right? So you are, let's say you're Bond Hair Bar and you're in Silicon Valley and you want to be able to engage with people who want to look 20 years younger. Well, think critically, what businesses in the Bay Area are reaching people who have the money to spend and want to look 20 years younger? Well, you could go after people, plastic surgeons, weight loss, whatever it is, but you would be able to go after the people reaching that demographic and go up to them and knock on their door virtually, ideally like and comment a few times first, lead with value, and then you send them a direct message. I'm going to get into that right now too. But again, Twitter allows you to interact with people on a higher level than any other channel. And it's the only platform out of all of these that allows you to put as much emphasis on your text as on your image. So if you like to write and you want to have those short, succinct texts, that's really where the Twitter is, but it allows you to connect with people and interact at a much higher level. So now you're saying, okay, I get the demographics. Hopefully you picked your pillar content here. Now I want you to say, what are you going to do to get seen? It's not about pick your pillar content and forget the others. It's about pick your pillar content and go live, get your video, and then get it transcribed by uploading it to YouTube. Yes, you can get a free transcription by uploading to YouTube. It's possible. A little bit of an editing hack, but it totally works. And then once you get your YouTube transcription, run it through Grammarly, shout out to Grammarly, and then you go ahead and you take it and turn it into blogs. And a little bit of video editing and a couple keywords in the titles. Now all of a sudden you've got blogs for your LinkedIn, your website, all of that. And then you chop it into posts and you put it onto Twitter, onto Insta. You do some videos about it on Snap, and you go ahead and go back to YouTube and upload your next video. So it is absolutely possible to take one pillar content and spin it out. Maybe you start with Snap and you're going to go ahead and download those and save them through a screen recorder or to your phone, and then you can upload them to YouTube because they go away after 24 hours. But again, he's not recommending Snap as a core channel. He's saying use Twitter or Insta. You can go live on either, pull down the video, and put on YouTube. So again, it doesn't matter if Facebook, Insta, or Twitter is your core channel. Just make sure you get it to YouTube and start repurposing it. But let's break this down in specifics. All right, I'm kind of ready to tell you some specifics about how to go live on, how to be effective on Facebook. You know what I'm going to say. Go live and go live often. Stop trying to make as many, let me tell you like this. Stop trying to make as many impressions as possible for the least amount of money and the least amount of work and not consider video. Is there any other bargain hunters out there? I am Crystal Clearance Queen. I get everything on sale, okay? And so when I get something on sale, I want to get the most effective one. I don't want lower value. I want higher quality at lower rate. Okay, I'm willing to wait for it. So the reality is on Facebook, if you're not using live video, you are working harder, you are paying more, and you are getting less views if you're not using live video. Let that sink in. Think about it. If you're on Facebook and you're not using live video, you're missing out, period. Mark Zuckerberg said in 2016 that the reality is video is the next mobile revolution. Just like mobile revolutionized how we do data and how we do social and how we do live, video also will. So if you're not behind it and you have not gone live on Facebook, you're missing out and working harder for more and paying more to get less results. So, okay, so you say to me, I get it, Crystal, I get it. I need to go live on Facebook. Okay, well, how do I actually do it? Gary Vee and I both agree you gotta pop and prop in the first 3 seconds. Okay, he didn't say pop and prop. That's kind of my terminology, but you get the point. You need to get up in that camera and be like, hello, in the first couple seconds so you're not a talking head, all right? So he says invest in the first 3 seconds. That's his version of pop and prop. But what I say is get a prop and pop into the camera and create some dimension, and that makes you less of a talking head. First 3 seconds matter. I also coach you on how to use you 2 times in the first 8 seconds to increase your viewership by 97%. People are more likely to stay and watch your video by 97% when you say you twice in the first 8 seconds. So I say, do you know? You can say, are you struggling with? Whatever that version is. The other thing he emphasizes is it needs to be a family-friendly piece of content. Yeah, people are on Facebook and you want to get a share, it better not embarrass them or they're not going to share it. So just keep that in mind. Family friendly is the name of the game on Facebook. Also, you need to create custom audiences. He and I both agree that you need to leverage their custom audiences and their precise marketing techniques. Now, he says it's the best deal in town, and you know Crystal Clearance Queen, I agree actually. So you want to make sure you are boosting content and getting your content seen, but what he doesn't bring up and what I want to emphasize is, again, get in front of the people who already know, like, and trust your brand, because they're the ones most likely to engage, and when they engage, it lowers your cost of marketing. That's next week. All right, next up he says collaborate. Now, he says collaborate on Instagram, he says collaborate on YouTube, he says collaborate on Snap, collaborate on Twitter. So collaborate's the name of the game. So you're gonna hear it through all of them, but on Facebook in particular, he says you need to go into your search engine, or excuse me, go to the search bar within Facebook and put in the keyword associated with your business. His example was motorcycles. If you're creating helmets, for example, for motorcycles. And then find the pages related to it that come up first, that have the largest following, reach out to them and make them an offer they can't refuse. That's his approach. I agree, but just before you do that, why don't you become an asset and you like, and comment on their post for 2 to 3 weeks? So now all of a sudden they know your name when you reach out to them. Then he says pretty much reach out on Facebook and only a small percentage will respond. He says that pretty much across all the channels. But aren't they more likely to respond if you're an asset, if you're liking and commenting? Okay, and then if they don't respond, you want to get in front of them, I would say follow up with a phone call. And it's not a cold call. You've been liking and commenting. You're an asset. So that's my crystal spin on the Gary Vee collaborate, is make sure what is online is also offline. So make sure you follow up with a phone call if it's important to you. But collaborate either way. That's the name of the game for all of these channels. All right. Next up is Insta. We talked about Insta and their hashtags and being able to engage with people who are the younger demographic. But what you may not know is that it's kind of a Google in a Google. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. Okay, the reality is there's a search feature in Insta, just like in all the channels, but it is precise in its hashtag and influencer search capabilities. So again, if you're making helmets and you're going after motorcycle people, put in the word motorcycle. He says find the first hashtag that pops up, click on that, and then once that will open up another window with the hashtag or the images associated with those hashtags, click on each of the images and find the people that are associated with those images. Now, he also says click on the 3 dots for the post and try to find any other associated channels and make sure they're a real company, because there's a lot of bots on Instagram. But essentially, you want to search, click, and DM. That was his approach, right? So you want to search in the search bar, click into and find the hashtag, and then direct message the people who you found. And that equals collaboration. Yeah. The last piece is tagging, chatting, and ads. It almost rhymes. All right, tagging is where you start tagging people in the post. You tag people in the comments. You tag people across the content. You tag people for reposts. So that is a collaboration all in itself because you're giving them a shout out, right? You're associating it with their brand. And when they like and comment back, you get in all of their followers' feeds for free. So if that doesn't work, you want to bump it up to chatting. And chatting is where you go and you chat into the comments and you connect with people. I've also heard of people having Instapods where you can actually sign up and have like-minded businesses that are not competitors but collaborators come together and have a group and then repost that content out to each other's channels. So you can have an Instapod. And then lastly is ads. So Instagram is owned by Facebook, so you do have the same precise marketing capabilities to go after your custom audience for your existing sphere. Now, can I give you a little tip? If you're on Facebook and you're making your custom audience, there's a box to check that says also run this on Instagram. You want to check that box, and I have found that those posts outperform if you select it individually and you boost it on Insta and you boost it on Facebook. It performs lower than if you boost it on Facebook, check the box and let it run on Insta. So that's a little tip for you there. All right, next up is YouTube. Okay, YouTube, you didn't work for me today, but you're still my friend. You are designing a lifestyle channel. Think of it like that. You want people to know both documenting and creating your business. You want to create content that helps people in that industry, whatever your ideal clients care about, create content that helps them intentionally. And you want to document your lifestyle, your humanity, your struggle, your late nights, your wins, your victories. That all goes to YouTube. You also want to take any videos you do from other channels and put it on YouTube. And again, get that free transcription. You just click through and the transcription's there and it has the time date stamp, but with a little bit of editing, pretty quickly you can remove all of that and then you've got a transcription that I used to pay $1 a minute for. So you no longer have to take a 60-minute broadcast and pay 60 minutes. You just simply do the transcription and run it through Grammarly and you will get a beginning of a blog. So make sure you do that. He doesn't talk about the transcription. Hello, Gary Vee. Talk about the transcription because you know it's getting read by Google. All right. He talks a lot about you want to review the stats and inform your next piece of content based on what's working. This goes across all channels, but he says specifically on YouTube, as it is a great equalizer, you want to be able to look at the statistics, see what works, and double down on that. He also says, bring in the real you, stop trying to hold back and be perfect and, wait till your hair's just glamorous and your makeup is fabulous and everything is just great. And then you look into the camera in your most calm voice and you talk so perfectly rehearsed and memorized. Nobody engages with that. You gotta be a little crazy, a little kooky. And if you're more sophisticated in your style, so be it. But they have a cup of tea with D and you just go and make your cup of tea and sit there and sip it. But at least that's you if you drink tea. Think of who you are and how you can bring that into your videos for YouTube. And that's why I'm bringing Gary Vee, because this is part of who I am. All right, the next up is I want you to listen to your peeps. See what people are responding to and get your checklist. So again, we're giving away a checklist that's going to help you optimize your YouTube as you get your live videos from Facebook, Insta, Twitter, wherever you've got them. Get them on YouTube using this checklist. Now make sure you cover all the points that Gary Vee wants you to cover when your thumbnails, your tags, your meta descriptions, your titles, your SEO, your channel art. I've got it all covered for you. All right, we got two more here. The next one is Snap. We talked about Snap. Anybody else in here a fan of Snap? Who just doesn't have time for Snap? I just want to know. Again, it's a secondary platform. So I'm guilty. I'm not as active on Snap as I am on all the other channels. It's where you post images and short videos and you're supposed to really show up and be you. You're also, don't get hashtags. We talked about that. There's no advertising. So you really have to hack culture is what he called it, in terms of you no longer are just saying, hey, here's just a quick video of me talking about the day, but instead, the example was doing the, where they submerge you in the ice water, not crypto, something like that. Anyways, what she said, the example in the book was when she would go and she'd post images of this on Snap, she always snapped what she wore, what she looked like in the tub, where to go, the benefits. And so again, each video wasn't just a narcissistic, look at me, I'm going to go get dipped in the cold plunge, but instead it's saying, here is what you wear, here are the benefits, here's what it looks like when you do it, and here's how you get there. So again, make sure each time you're snapping that there's some story to tell and how it connects to help people. Even if you're not necessarily creating content to convert, you want to still have valuable content. Again, it's a second platform, so make sure you collaborate. He says when you're collaborating on the other channels like Facebook, YouTube, Insta, and you're saying, hey, let's set something up, you know, just as we talked about on Facebook and Insta, then you would just say, by the way, are you on Snap? So that was his approach and kind of his hack to find collaborators on Snap, is start with the people you're already prospecting on the other channels and then see if they're on Snap. He also gave the website the11thsecond.com. 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 And that actually is a little bit of a hack that allows you to take the mystery out of Snap and see some of the biggest influencers, who they are and what they're doing. So there is a little bit of a way to get into it, but other than that, you just go into Snap, you don't know where anybody is or who they are or how to get there or how to get friends. So just really go to the 11th second if you want to be strategic. Lastly, we're talking about Twitter. Anybody like Twitter? I built my business on Twitter. Let me tell you, I just got interviewed by Mark Septon with another round. Special shout out and stay tuned. This is a heart-wrenching story when you hear about some of the things that we've been through, myself and this company and where we're going. Because when you get knocked down, you do one more round. You get back up. So special shout out to him. But I met him when I was building my business on my sister's couch in Portland before I moved to Brazil, tweeting at 2 a.m., you know, and to anybody who would respond and try to be positive with me using hashtags for social media and attending Twitter chats and getting Twitter followers, and then it improved my search rankings. It also got top of mind awareness, got me partnered with the National Institute of Social Media, got me featured on a video show, built appointment sets that led to clients. It's a no-brainer. I built this business on Twitter and LinkedIn. It kills me I don't got LinkedIn up here. Come on, Gary Vee, you're not even talking about LinkedIn. It's my favorite channel. It's where it all comes together. Okay, it's another show. All right, so, but on Twitter, I built my business here because that's where you can identify what's trending. Not only are news outlets continually checking Twitter for news stories, but individuals and entrepreneurs like myself are also looking for it. So he gave the example, if you want to be a sports news broadcaster, it's easy to get on Twitter and talk about sports every day. But the steps he gave was to, 1, identify what's trending, 2, retweet and celebrate the people who are already commenting and involved on that topic. 3, you want to listen, react, and hijack, were his words. So you want to listen to what's going on as you're retweeting and celebrating. You want to react, so you don't want to always retweet without a comment. Retweet with the comment and react. And then you want to hijack in terms of put your own spin on it. So the last thing he said was to also shoot short videos and post those to your account. Come on, Gary Vee. Periscope is built into Twitter. They are now one. Live video is possible at a huge, phenomenal rate than never before on Twitter. It goes straight to Google. Of all of the channels we've talked about today, Google reads Twitter at a higher rate than any of the channels. Maybe YouTube. Okay, YouTube, maybe, because they're brother and sister, right? But Twitter has a wide open API, which means that Twitter knows, or excuse me, the sheriff knows when you post on Twitter. So go live on Twitter. And I've actually seen clients, the real estate agent firm right here in San Diego, we'd go live on Facebook and Insta, and we finally started putting in Periscope, and she got way more engagement on Periscope. So through Twitter. So you just simply go live in Twitter, just as easy, 3 clicks, and it integrates Periscope, and you get live video. So he says post a video, I say do a live. Did you get your YouTube checklist? Have you commented to get it yet? Do I need to put on my serious face? Get your YouTube checklist and start getting that video out on your YouTube. Make sure you DM the page and send me your email, and I will send that over to you personally. Now, we're wrapping up here, but before we do, I just want to make it just a little clearer on some of the reasons why I'm pushing back against crushing it here. Again, I stand on the stages of San Diego Association Realtors, California Association Realtors, and 6 full-day workshops at Orange County Association Realtors coming up. So I want to say to everybody who's listening, from whether I'm on stage or on live, that it is possible to use live video and layer in storytelling branding to generate leads. If you're not doing it, you're missing out, and you're working harder to get less results and paying more. It makes no sense. So get over it and start getting the technology to be able to jump in and see what you look on camera and tell the world how you're changing lives. So as you can tell, my biggest critique of this book is that there's not enough live video. He doesn't even say the word live until page 211. Look, I just go throw it down. I can't take it anymore. This is outrageous. All right, calm down, Crystal. Now, so he also does not walk you through what type of content will drive results. He doesn't walk you through the Pareto's principle of identifying your top performing product or service and then figuring out the ideal client for it, and then the client you've worked with like that, and then what are their needs and their challenges and their obstacles so you can create message to market match. If you want to know more about that, that was part 1. Make sure you watch that. He doesn't talk anything about how to go live in the actual process of it. He says invest in the first 3 seconds. Come on, Gary Vee, give us more than that. Do a whole chapter on live. He has a whole chapter on podcasts and on voice, but there's not a chapter on live. Outrageous, I tell you. And he doesn't have anything in here about direct marketing your existing sphere of influence. That's next week. I'm going to walk you through that. Again, the people who know, like, and trust you are the ones who are most likely to help you grow your business. So if you're not targeting the people who know, like, and trust you, your LinkedIn contacts, your Gmails, your Twitter followers, whatever, if you're not following those people, getting them to engage with your content, you're paying more for less results. So make sure you hear it next week on YouTube. All right, and also he doesn't talk about filling up spiritually. You need to be able to be real, cool, calm, and collected within you. I meditate every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 4 times a day. People drive me crazy. But you gotta be able to find whatever it is for you, whether it's a long walk on the beach, a meditation, a play with the dog, a good night's sleep, journaling. I don't know if you're gonna do worship music or balance your 7 chakras. I don't care, but fill up so you're ready, because he is right. It does take long hours to be able to do this, but you can outsource it and get a virtual assistant. I'll teach you how. That's in my next section when I'm going through. Yes, we're going through the Ferris 4-hour work week. All right, so you want some more tips? We're wrapping it up and you're hungry for more? Stay here on Facebook next Tuesday. We're going live at what time? 3:33 p.m. and we got a new shortened format, 7 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it real short and show you how to specifically go live on one channel. We talked about Facebook, we talked about Insta, now we're going through Twitter. That's right. All right, and if you want some more strategy, follow me on YouTube so you can get these social media strategy seminars. How do I live stream strategy seminars every Thursday at 3:33? And ask me questions so that you can get the answers you need for your business. And just go ahead and subscribe, because I've got some good stuff coming for you. So stop making excuses. We're offering a free, easy way for you to break through the excuse that you're a perfectionist, that you don't like how you look on camera. And how are we doing that? We're giving away 10 Go Live kits. We are in week number 4 of giving these out. This is a full tripod. It does pop down even further here. You can see it goes even bigger, right? But it also has a cell phone adapter. You can see right here on top, you put your cell phone in. It has a little bubble to tell you when you're level. It also has a carrying case and audio and a selfie light. And the audio is a dual lapel mic. So if you've got 2 people, you're gonna be on camera with somebody, best practice, interview somebody, please. You can have them on camera with you and have audio that plugs right into your phone. And then you have your selfie light, so you'll have good lighting. You've got a carrying bag for your tripod and a carrying case for the entire kit. So today, we are going to tally it up and go ahead and reach out and give away a free kit. So thank you, and thank you. You do not need to be present to win. Simply comment to win, and we will message you back. I also tend to throw in a few selfie lights. So just leave a comment. I'll send you some love. All right? So remember Gary Vee's words. The only thing stopping you from achieving a lasting career of happiness is you. So my phrase is go live and go live often. And make sure to connect with us. I'm Crystal Lindsay, and this is 333 Social Media. How do I live stream strategy seminars? And I'll see you next Thursday on YouTube at 3:33 p.m.